What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Moonbuilt Garage. I want to do some customization to the D100. I think it's time. This is an idea that I've been kicking around for a while, and I had some inspiration today, I guess. I think I'm going to redo my dash. Let me show you what I kind of have in mind. So I know I did a video a while back where I showed how I kind of refurbed the gauge cluster enclosure and the glove box. And while I'm happy with the way it turned out, I've really been wanting something custom. I've been wanting to redo the whole upper half of the dash, just so it's something just a little different. So I was actually driving home from work today, and I decided that I'm gonna base the dash off of the dash of my charger. So I made an outline of the charger dash. Obviously this is not where it's going to go. I just have it balanced on the steering column. But I took a design, or I took a trace of the charger dash so I can get the basis or get a shape to start working with. I know I want the dash to come out the same distance as it does now. But what I want is the dash to go from here, and I want it to slope all the way back to the windshield. Instead of having it stop short here like this, I want it to just gradually slope all the way back. So that's where the design of the charger dash comes in. That'll give me the shape for the front, the height, and then I can start building off of that. What I'm gonna do is I got some TIG wire, and I'm going to use that actually to make a wire buck to get a design, because I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in metal or if I'm going to do it in fiberglass. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think I should do it out of. I'm leaning more towards fiberglass, even though I'd really like to get some more practice with sheet metal work and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, with it being a dash and the sun beating down on it and everything, I'm thinking fiberglass might be better. But let me know. Let me know down below what you think. So I'm gonna try to get this trace out in here in a position that I like. I'll have to remove the dash. There's a lot of things I want to keep in mind. I want to use the existing mounting holes. I don't want to drill any new holes in the dash. So I'm going to try to utilize all the existing mount points. But yeah, so I'm going to start with that and that piece of TIG wire that I have running across the back. Obviously I got to mask up the windows. I got to pull all the glove box and the gauge cluster out. I'm going to put a welding blanket across the floor, so that I can start tacking together a bunch of TIG wire that I'm going to bend into a buck to get a shape. So measure, cut, bend, tack, repeat over and over and over until you have whatever wire frame you want. What I'm doing is building a base frame over the entire dash. It's going to be a two-part, kind of like how it is now because of the glove box and the fuse panel, but all that I'll figure out later. Something to keep in mind though, when you're working with welding wire, or pretty much any wire, you don't want any tension in the wire when you tack it. So make sure you have the bends, have it laying down exactly where you want it, and that it stays there on its own with no pressure, then tack it. If you tack it with any kind of tension in the wire, it could kink the wire, it could warp it more than just it's going to just tacking it. It just creates a whole bunch of headaches. You don't want any tension in that wire when you tack it. Well, I'm going to continue with the base frame, then we'll go on to the next step. All right, so there you can see I've got pretty much the entire lower wire frame done. This front edge could probably be a lot cleaner, but I'm not that concerned about it. I mean, well, the second half's a lot better than the first. I improved my process as I went along. But I'm not that concerned about this front edge because there's gonna be a piece, probably sheet metal, that's gonna come out and break up and give me a front shape, some structure, and it's also gonna tie into these mounting holes here, and there's a couple over on that side. So it's gonna tie in all the way across. And then, so a lot of this front stuff's gonna get cut free anyway. So I'm not that concerned about it. But at least the rest of it gives me a good wire structure to start building off of, to bring the dash up, start building some structure into this. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I think I'm gonna work on making the front lip detail. I think I'm gonna make that out of some 22 gauge. I'm gonna just cut a strip, break it to a 90, and then I'm gonna try to roll the front edge. We'll see how it turns out. But that's my plan. So I think I'm gonna do that next, is this front edge. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me okay over the fans. It's really hot and humid here in Vegas. I got fans, I got a swamp cooler running, so bear with me. Hopefully everything sounds all right. So I got the front part of the dash done where it goes up along the windshield. So I got that trim piece, or that edge piece done all along the windshield. So I was able to put it in the brake, use the shrinker, and get the bow of the windshield into that piece all the way across, and then I tack welded my wire frame to that. Once I had that done, I started working on this front piece. I was waiting on a tool to get here to be able to work on this, so I actually also started working on the top piece there that's going to form the gauge enclosure. When it came to this piece though, I got the tool in that I needed. So since the front of the dash has a very slight bow to it, I started working with the sheet metal, and the first thing I wanted to do was put this bend in it to give me my mounting flange. It's going to line up on the face of the lower dash and get the bolts through it through the existing holes. But in order to get that to fit right, I had to run it through the shrinker. So there you can see some wrinkles put in it. They're very slight. the crown or the bow of that piece is not a lot at all. It almost looks straight. But because of that bow, I couldn't put the next bend in it to bring it up. I couldn't do it, I couldn't put that in the brake because it had a slight bow to it. So I was waiting on my tipping die. So here's the tipping die in the bead roller. What that's going to allow me to do is I can run, focus, I can run this through there, run that edge on that line there, and pull up on this a bit. I can pull up on it as I run it through the bead roller, and that will allow me to put a bend along that line. Normally, like I said, normally you could do that in a brake, but because of that slight bow in the dash, I can't do that in the brake. So I ran those two long pieces through the tipping die already. Got that one last short piece to finish. Man, as you can see, guys, it's a little warm, but we're making some good progress. So here's the beginnings, or almost the completed gauge cluster frame. I think next I need to add still another mounting brace that goes along the back here on the metal dash, and then I'm gonna do some more short rods like this one here, just to give this some more shape and to kind of really start laying out how the overall shape is coming. But I'm really happy with this so far. I still have a lot of weld cleanup to do and some sanding and stuff like that, but I mean, you can see it's braced pretty well. Still have a lot more structure to put into it, but she's coming along, guys. I'm really liking the way this thing's turning out. Let's, I guess, continue bracing that gauge cluster enclosure, and work on the rest of the mounting, getting all the holes drilled and making sure this thing will fit. It already drops right in place. I just got to add some mount points. That's really it. All right, guys, I had to make a quick run to Harbor Freight this morning, pick up some more of this 1/8" TIG welding wire. This stuff has been great for making that buck. Bends real easy, cuts easy. Obviously, I can weld to it. So now that I got this, I can finish making that wire buck. There you have it, guys. There's the mostly completed wire frame for the custom dash for the D100. Obviously, there's still a lot more that needs to get done, even for this stage to be considered finished. Everything's just kind of tacked together. So I got some more welding to do, some weld cleanup. I got to beef up some of those tacks. I'm not sure if the wire frame is going to stay. I'm trying to do it so that once I get the outer skin done, that I can hopefully take the wire frame out. I've already cut a lot of it free, so a lot of those sharp edges need to be cut out or ground down for now. Next step will be to build the actual support for the gauge cluster enclosure and figure out what I'm gonna do, there it is, for the glove box. I don't know if I'm gonna build a custom door, if I'm gonna try to find something that'll just work. I'm really leaning towards building a custom glove box door. But all that will be in the next video. This one's getting already kind of long. I appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next one.